All right, everyone, we have to give praise where praise is due to Thomas Massie. By the way, he was the first major person to endorse Ron DeSantis, which I rolled my eyes at the time. He probably privately rolls his eyes himself at the campaign that he stupidly chose to endorse, but he occasionally shows great principle. This is one of those instances. Link in the description, not archived. This is to his official Twitter page, so hey, pile on in there. I started following him for a reason. This was a good move. Right now, he remained a holdout voting against the bipartisan, give Israel everything bill. He decided to vote against that because he's like, well, we're broke. We shouldn't be sending our money to another country. I pledge to be America first. That's what I'm going to do. So, enough is enough. We can't even pay our own bills. Why are we getting involved in yet another stupid war? And the AIPAC decided to dogpile him. And for some mysterious reason, in their original assessment, in their original response, they just condemn him and say, well, this is a terrible day and a horrible disgrace that Thomas Massie wouldn't stand with the Israeli people. And then he pointed out in his response, he's like, well, I have no problem with that. I'm just saying that we're broke, effectively. I'm America first, and that's what I am. And they claimed that he was making the dual loyalty claim. Like, the claim is that there are people that are like Jewish Americans or something, that they're subversive and they have some sort of foreign loyalty to the other state that they have the capability of residency in or something. At the highest level, it would be a claim about Jews as a people. At the more nominal level, it tends to be about politicians with dual citizenship and how it's kind of weird that so many of members of Congress have it. I would say that they are correct in having suspicions about anyone with dual citizenship being in a political role. They have every right. If somebody were, let's say, Armenian American, they've got 2 passports, and they're in the Senate or whatever, and a vote comes up with regards to a war raging in Armenia, don't you think that their vote is going to get extra scrutinized? Well, the thing is, we don't involve ourselves regularly with Armenia. We're involved on a constant basis with Israel and their diplomacy. On a constant basis. Hamas rocket attacks happen constantly to the people of Israel. The IDF is constantly hitting targets in the West Bank, in Gaza, and in areas attendant to the region. It's more of a flashpoint than Armenia, although maybe recently it's more similar. Or Bolivia or something like that. Somebody has Hungarian dual citizenship. It's been a while since they've been in a war. But Israel finds itself in bloody conflict on a pretty regular basis. The fact is that AIPAC is just bitching about this because he voted no. And so they're dragging out the normal propaganda. They're trying to shame him into apologizing or something by insinuating some form of anti-Semitism. Oh my God, you didn't vote for this bill? That means you hate Jews. That's basically what AIPAC is claiming here. Keep in mind, AIPAC has a disproportionate amount of fundraising capabilities to muck around in the political system. Again, there's a reason why especially no Republican wants to tangle with them. They are known to use, they're basically partners of the ADL. The ADL being the weaponized arm that defames people directly and makes, shit lists of people online or of politicians they think don't show enough loyalty, or, they're worried because that politician used to be an oven salesman or something like that. He seems a little bit too interested in lampshades, and so naturally you're on the shit list. But Thomas Massie has never shown any proclivities towards bigotry whatsoever, of any kind, against any group of people. He's simply saying he doesn't want to send money to a foreign nation. He's also against sending more money to Ukraine, I believe. He's simply saying that we don't have the means. He is fundamentally correct. Look at our weapons stockpiles too, by the way. Israel wants military aid, of course, and the U.S. government is more than willing to send it. Can I please ask, are we capable, under Bidenomics especially, are we capable of creating the sort of industrial infrastructure required to create so many bullets and rockets and so many explosives and everything else under the sun in order to not only keep our own military at least nominally equipped, but also to equip both Ukraine and Israel? Are we genuinely capable of doing that under our current economic situation? No. You end up having to build your tanks with Chinese parts or something. You're going to have to, the U.S. will start having to import AK-47s or some shit to defend itself. It's nuts. They've paused the exportation of civilian firearms to most nations for, the next 90 days. That was a few days ago they did that. And paused on those exports because the weapons market's all fucked up. I mean, ammo, look at any decent ammo manufacturer right now and tell me what you see. There's plenty of 22. It's hit or miss as to whether you can find anything else. So as long as you've got your little 22 rifle and you say, well, I'll never starve because I know how to shoot a rabbit. Okay, you've done fine. If shit hits the fan, though, and you've got, a larger weapon and you didn't already pile the ammo, you're going to be hurting for certain when you go to the store and see the cost, now aren't you? AIPAC is attacking Thomas Massie for pointing out the basic God's honest truth. The United States is broke right now. We have $0. We are so heavily in debt that we effectively don't have any wealth except on paper. And that debt, by the way, is publicly traded, just so that you know. Bonds are a thing. And it's mainly held domestically. That's the good news. The good news is that U.S. debt is mainly domestic. Japan is the biggest foreign holder, not China. So the future is Japanese. You could do worse. That sounds okay. At least they know how to keep their cities clean and orderly, and there's not a lot of crime, and they're not commies. Yeah, okay, Japanese superiority. Yes, the land of the rising sun hits the other side of the Pacific. Sushi market will rise. I'm okay with that. Eel is delicious. I like eating creepy crawly things that were harvested from the seaweed and stuff. I think that it's delicious, not weird. I was the weird one back, 20 years ago when I first tried sushi. People are like, what the fuck? Why'd you try that? It was a foreign concept to anyone in small town America for a long time. AIPAC's wrong. Thomas Massie's not a bigot. Thomas Massie's not claiming dual loyalty or any of those other things. That's the AIPAC's way of coping. They're trying to cope with the fact that a member of Congress, a Republican, that's why he's uniquely targeted, happened to vote against the fucking aid bill. But the aid bill is stupid. The only good thing about it is it cuts $14 billion in IRS funding, but it simply diverts that to sending it overseas, so it's pointless. We should be restraining spending as much as possible. First way to do that's axing the size of government. Hey guys, you're going to need to vote more Freedom Caucus members into the Senate in order to get that accomplished, because the neocons are clearly willing to stymie every bit of progress that's put on the table. We've seen that with Mitch McConnell and others. Don't you dare break rank. I'll be talking about Mitch McConnell backstabbing, by the way, the basic concept of populism later. The man refuses to leave. He's probably going to seek another term, even though he's all fucked up. Now, we've seen that quite a few times. He's going to end up going Feinstein mode is what's going to happen, causing yet another crisis within GOP leadership. So, I don't know. For tolerating it, maybe they deserve it. Yeah, I support Thomas Massie on this one. The AIPAC's full of shit. That's about all. Peace out.